Now, staying in Parliament, Member of Parliament for Subin, Eugene Entry says MPs have not lived up to expectation. His comment follows a series of unpleasant happenings in the House, with the recent being a row over the acceptance of the e-levy as part of the 2022 budget. Mr. Entry says, despite the tension in the House, MPs should show maturity and respect each other. Here's his conversation with parliamentary correspondent Kwesi Parker-Wilson. And this, I must tell you, was recorded before last night's proceedings and scuffle in Parliament.
Eugene Entry is the Member of Parliament for Subin constituency in the Ashanti region. And just a year ago, he was re-elected by the constituent, of course, to come and serve in Parliament for the second time. Well, it's a year under the review, and of course, you know the situation in Parliament, the hang Parliament. How is he able to handle the hang Parliament as against his activities in the constituency? Honorable, thank you very much for your time today. Now, but let's start from the top. You were the Deputy Minister for Works and Housing. Going into the year 2021, you didn't get an appointment. Why? What happened?
Well, first of all, let me say good morning to the viewers and listeners. The appointment, according to the Constitution of Ghana, is in the purview or within the purview of the President. He determines who becomes a minister and who doesn't. He doesn't have to conduct any examination or any other test.
But we're expecting that he was going to, extend your ministry appointment.
Yeah, life is full of surprises. So I'm here now as a full-time parliamentarian, and I'm trying to make the most of it by trying to serve the good people of Subin, serve my party, and serve the party's government. That is what I'm committed to do.
Were you satisfied with the president's decision?
Well, my satisfaction hasn't come into it. He made a decision. When he appointed me as a deputy minister, somebody was also disappointed. So my satisfaction or disappointment hasn't come into it. The Constitution gives him the power to do it. So he's done it, and we've moved on. It's almost like Riley said, a year after the elections. What we must learn as a party is that there's too much talk in the system, and I want to sound a word of caution to every MPP sympathizer, supporter, or member that we have no record or legacy to go into the 2024 election apart from that of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo.
Now, if there's too much talk, what specifically are the talks going on?
Well, like I'm saying, in every second term of every administration, you get a lot of disappointments, you get a lot of talk in the system. And what I'm trying to say to everybody is that we must all calm our nerves, we must all steady the ship, because we are going to go into the 2024 general election on the record of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. And that record I'm part of. The first 4 years, I was a deputy minister, so I'm part of that record, and I will defend that record to the hilt. And I'm urging all members and all appointees, all disappointed appointees, to just keep their eyes on the ball and ensure that we get all the resources and the knowledge and power at our disposal to break the eight-year cycle system of governance that we have subjected ourselves to under the Fourth Republic. So that is that.
I see. I'll come to the breaking the eight, but then your critics say, this is the final one on your appointment, your critics say that the NPP made a lot of talk about Saglebe housing project. You and your minister couldn't deliver. Is the one reason the president decided to, take you off and your minister from the ministry?
Well, I'm not going to go into the president's decision. He made that decision, and it's his decision that he has made. We have to live with it,
right.
Fortunately or unfortunately. But how can somebody say, I haven't spent 4 years in that ministry? And I'll tell you for a fact, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo is the only president in the history of this country who gave the Works and Housing Ministry serious money to tackle drains. In my 4 years there as deputy minister, we were fortunate enough to be given 450 million Ghana cedis to tackle our drains. That is aside of sea defense project. And how can anybody say this? We've got projects dotted across the country.
No, but the Saglebe was one big project that the NPP promised.
It remains to be seen whether the Atachian-led Minister of Works and Housing record can be broken by any subsequent minister. I'm telling you, I worked in the ministry for 4 years.
For 4 years,
The ministry had the highest attrition rate before. I think Atachian is the only minister who has spent the entire 4 years as a minister. Every 4 years, we get 2 or 3 ministers going in since 1992.
See.
Yes, Atachian is the only minister who spent 4 years. And you can go and check the record. that we've left behind in that ministry.
I think the leadership of the House failed to do what many have said.
I'm not going to go into.
No, but we're looking at Parliament. You're looking at the event.
You see, I'm not going to go into that. Maybe it will come up in my memoirs in future.
I see.
But as it stands, I'm not going to go into anything.
But you're on record to have blamed the NPP leadership of the loss of Professor Michael Quay.
Parker.
Do you still stand by that?
Parker.
No, you're on record. Parker, I mean, when you Google, it's online.
It will all come up in my memoirs. Right? It's been a steep learning curve for all of us.
Okay.
And we are living with a very unfortunate situation by going against our own and bringing in Abambagben and looking at what he's doing to us.
What is doing to you? You're the MPP in the chamber.
Well, you see, I keep saying that lawyers are trained to talk, so they are good talkers.
Okay.
Babin sits there every day and tells us that yes, he's not there to frustrate government, but then again, he's not going to be
an errand boy for the executive. He's clear on that. He's been very clear on that.
You see, we're talking about a national budget.
Okay.
That budget does not just affect MPP people. It affects everybody. If war betides us, we don't pass this budget today, in January, where is the Ministry of Finance going to get money to pay everybody? So it's not what you say, it's a deed, it's not words. We can all talk. We've all been trained to talk. That's why we are in politics. It's what you are doing. That's what we are watching.
So what he says as against his deeds are in sharp contrast.
Yes. Because how can you say, I'm not a lawyer, but go to the Constitution. Let me take you to the Constitution. I'm not a lawyer.
Right.
I'll take you to the Constitution. Go to Article 93. First and foremost, Article 93. Yes? You know, you have to read the Constitution as a whole.
Of course.
You don't have to pick and choose.
You read the Constitution as a whole. You don't pick and choose.
40 elected members at a time. Right? We are now 275. Fine. Then go to 95 or 6. 95. It talks about the election of speaker. It says there shall be a speaker of parliament who shall be elected by the members of parliament from among persons who are members of parliament or who are qualified to be elected as members of parliament. That's the election of speaker.
Sure.
Then you go to 96. That talks about the election of deputy speakers.
Sure.
So I give you 93, I give you 95. I'm not a lawyer.
6.
I'm not a lawyer.
But by a member of parliament, so at least the Constitution and the standing orders.
Two deputy speakers of parliament. 96(1)(a) says who shall be elected by the members of parliament themselves, right? And B says both of whom shall not be members of the same political party, right?
Sure.
Fine. Then you go to Article 102, which talks about quorum. That's 109 in our orders.
Okay.
It says that a quorum of parliament, apart from the person presiding, shall be 1/3 of members of parliament, right? Then you go to 104, which that day, the Right Honourable Speaker back then conveniently did not touch on the 104.
The 104.
Yes, it says, except as otherwise provided in this Constitution, matters in Parliament shall be determined by the votes of the majority of members of Parliament present and voting. Listen, present and voting, with at least half of all the members of Parliament present.
So 1/2 of members in the House.
What is half? Out of 275.
No, but technically it's 137.5. I would have 137.5.
So it's 138. Understand? It's 138 because you were told as a child that you cannot split a human being into two.
Sure, that's correct.
So it's 138. You understand? Then, so on what basis did Mr. Babin proceed to conduct a vote? He said, not quorum. Quorum is the 102. That's your transact business. That's only 92.
92, that's correct.
That's fine. And NDC has 137. So you can go.
So more than 92.
But to vote on any matter, you must have at least half present in voting. You see, I'm not a lawyer. But I can read these provisions to you. 93, 95, 96, 102, 104.
So you're accusing him of bias?
I'm not accusing him of bias. I'm just saying, it's the Constitution. I'm not accusing him of bias. I'm accusing him of that. You see, when the Constitution is stating something, you must all observe it because it's a fundamental law of the country. And on that basis, that day, what he did was a nullity, an illegality.
But what your first deputy speaker of parliament also did was a nullity as well.
No.
You agree that
as
a speaker, you cannot form a quorum number in the chamber.
You guys are not helping the people out there to understand the process.
It is in your standing orders.
Bear with me. No, talk about the Constitution. Put the standing order to one side. talk about the Constitution. It's a mother document. But if you look at the Constitution...
But the standing orders guides your conduct.
But this is a mother document.
In the chamber.
Standing orders derive his power from here.
Right.
Okay, put it to one side. Joe Osei-Usu is a member of parliament. So you go to 93. 93 says, there shall be 140 at the time, but not 275.
That's correct.
So automatically Joe Osei-Usu is a member of parliament. That's what he did on the day. When Joe Osei-Usu was chairing, he said, when they counted, when they said, yes, MP for Bekwai, because it's an MP. The speaker is a member of parliament. That's what people are failing to understand. The speaker is not a member of parliament.
But when Joe Osei-Usu entered the chamber, he was led by the maize.
Bear with me. You see, you are just conflating the issues. And that is what is confusing people out there. Joe Osei-Usu is first and foremost MP for Bekwai. Regardless of its secondary discussion. He's only there to assist the speaker when the speaker is absent. Yes. But also, he speaks for Bekwai. So on that day, when you say that the people of Bekwai should have been denying the vote because Joe Osei-Usu was in the chair?
That day, he had assumed the authority of the speaker.
Yes, but he was
the privileges and rights of the speaker.
But he's being a member of parliament. He's being a member of parliament.
But when there's an official communication that the speaker is not in the country, within the jurisdiction, the first deputy speaker assumes the authority of the speaker.
My rudimentary question. Is Joe Osei being a member of parliament?
Of course, I mean, we all know.
So he's not. But Joe Osei-Usu is a member of parliament. And he has a duty to Bekwai as a member, as a rep in parliament. And that was basically the topic. That day he didn't have to come to a vote. We had 138 that day. So we could vote. And that's why we put.
So you see what you did was not a nullity
well,
and was unconstitutional.
This thing must be, I'm sure somebody's already in the Supreme Court.
Yeah, sure.
Testing it. But you see what the judges will come up with. Let's see. Because he's a member of parliament, you can't take that away from him. He's a member of parliament first and foremost. And that was the role he played on the day.
So this one has been very frustrating for the NPP, we will say.
Well, of course, this is not how we thought things had panned out. But I mean, of course, it's also a steep learning curve for us. I mean, you had a 169 majority. You lost all that in one election. Right? So it's all of us to sit up. And people sometimes might not be just taking things for granted. That's what I say. And these were things I kept saying. That look, if we joke with power, we'll be surprised. You see, because the Ghanaian is getting very sophisticated by the day. You understand? I am of the humble view that this MPP administration led by President Kufuor, we've had so many lessons that we have to learn from. Because Nana Addo was elected with 169 members, he was given 169 members of parliament to work with. He won the election by almost 1 million votes in one fell swoop. We came to power. I think we lost about 42 seats. Right? And in the process, we lost almost all the critical committee chairs. You understand? So what went wrong? These are some of the soul-searching questions we have to be asking ourselves. Right? We came to Parliament on the 7th of January and elected a speaker. That also didn't go in our favor. Right? And ever since, the NDC has tried its utmost best to scuttle almost every single budget that we've brought. It started in March. Then we are witnessing in November or in December. So clearly, it's not going to be a very easy ride for us in this 8th Parliament. The way the posture of the NDC. But
they say you have also taken an entrenched posture. Well, you have to bend. You have to be amenable.
I am all for negotiation.
Okay.
Right? Because at the end of the day, you cannot always be relying on the strength of your numbers. Because anything can happen. Death, emergency, pregnancy, this. So anything can happen in a medical situation. So I'm of the humble view that we have to constantly engage.
So the speaker should direct his anger towards the people who are misbehaving in the chamber.
Yes.
And not lecture MPs as they are being kids.
But what are the cameras there for? The cameras are there to monitor us.
Sure.
So then that day he did well when he was trying to drag the speaker's chair. The cameras were on him. So it's him that is dragging the chair, not members of parliament. We all have names. That's why you were born as Parker Wilson. I'm born as Eugene Entry. We all have names. Right? So when somebody is misbehaving or conducting their life as a child, they must be called out. And not the entire institution of parliament. It's unforgivable. People sometimes even want to beat people up. Yes. Ghana's parliament. Did we come here to fight?
Do you regret being in this 8th Parliament? Looking at the situation and what's happened? Because some say there's tension. There's tension in parliament.
I will say that we have not lived up to our standard as members of Parliament.
Is there tension in Parliament?
Of course, there's tension everywhere. There's tension.
What can be done to douse this tension in Parliament? Because we have 3 more years to go.
I believe maturity and respect for each other. You understand? Yes, I believe we are all good friends. I mean, all of us, we are all good friends. We are brothers, trying to serve our nation. You understand? But if something doesn't sit well with you, violence must be the last. It shouldn't be even the last. It shouldn't be even. You perish the thought. You shouldn't even consider it. But look at what happened. Look at what happened on the 6th of January. Look at what happened again.
I feel you're very disappointed.
Of course. I mean, that's not what I subscribe to. That's what I subscribe to. Right? That's what I subscribe to.
Do you speak to your NDC colleagues on the other side to behave?
I speak to virtually almost everybody, every day. My friend, we just came out of committee. I was in the lift with Sabuba MP, Wendy, all of them. Yeah, we all came out of the lift. We are brothers. Right? Yes. But sometimes I don't understand. In the psych, even last time, I think I remember about me shouting at one of them. Keep quiet or shut up. You heard him? Yes, out of anger. Because they tried to even tell him how to do his job.
So it's obvious that this 8 parliaments will be very interesting, as many anticipated. So in the next 3 years, what should we expect from the NPP, of course?
Well, the next year, we have our internal elections next year from polling station all the way.
Yeah, I'm making reference to Parliament. We'll come to the internal elections. So Parliament, the next 3 years.
Well, we just have to. From the caucus. We just have to continue talking, dialoguing. War is better than Jojo. We have to keep talking, trying to get our people to sit up, and get us all to look at, the main purpose why we are here. We are here to serve our mother Ghana, and a lot of people are looking up to us. If we have a disagreement, because the thing is that about 95 to 98% of what we do in Parliament is by consensus. So if we decide to vote on every single motion or every single resolution and stuff like that, we are in for a big trouble.
In for a big trouble.
A rough ride, my brother. Because I have, I'm a regular attendee of Parliament. I'm always here. And for the first 2-3 weeks, on our side, how many people did you see? I couldn't count 20 sitting on my side. And how many of us are ministers and non-ministers? You see, the side is always empty, but the other side is always full.
So your whip should whip them to come to Parliament.
But you don't know what the whips do. The whips are always whipping them. But people are just stubborn. People are just indisciplined. That's all.
Instead of them to come to Parliament, they'll be doing their own thing. Is that what you're saying?
I said people are just indisciplined. People are just stubborn.
And that is going to affect the NPP going forward if they continue with this behavior.
At the end of the day, the president cannot appoint everybody as a minister.
Okay.
Right? And when you say here, you say there too. Some of the ministers too must compose themselves. Must understand that they come from a party and treat their colleagues in Parliament with utmost respect and dignity. Yes, it must be told to their faces.
The ministers don't respect their colleagues in Parliament?
That's what some of them are saying. I haven't witnessed it. But I won't even give you the chance to respect me.
I see.
Yeah, some of us won't give you the chance to respect. But most of our colleagues are complaining. Yes. You see? And you see, we are in this boat together. Right? We lost 42 seats, and this is the situation we find ourselves. So knowing that Parliament is very supreme, so everybody here must be supported to work hard in this constituency to either retain the seat or increase our votes. You understand? And if people feel peeved, then there must be a way of addressing it. I'm sure a presidency is doing its bit, right? But members must sit up. The individual ministers. Yes, they must sit up.
But this is very shocking because they come from the same party.
It's not
you go to the same caucus.
It's human behavior and attitude. It's not shocking. Yes, it's not shocking. I sit in the house, and some of the other classes are here. Right? By some of us, we know that we came to support the party.
Okay.
Right? Good or bad, it's a PP. Right? People must understand that.
So is that a reason some of them don't want to come to Parliament or attend parliamentary business because they feel disrespected by their colleagues who are ministers?
Well, some feel that. Why should, yes, we work at the position of sitting in the ministry.
Yeah.
Why should even an MP from the other side come and wait for you in your reception? Tell me why.
How of the keenly contested position, the General Secretary position, John Bodo is still seeking re-election. Musa Sipura just about 2 days ago indicated his willingness to contest him. Your very good friend, Justin Kodia, is also going to contest.
My younger brother.
Well, your younger brother, I see. So you're throwing your weight behind him, your younger brother?
No, but we all went to the same secondary school.
Okay.
John Boadu Kodia, we all Pukwara boys.
Oh, I see.
So I'm connected to all of them.
I see.
By association. But of course, and Oparansa too.
Oparansa, a former MP, a former colleague in the House. Oparansa has also indicated his willingness.
And I think Titus Global too.
Titus?
Yes, he's also, I've seen his banners around.
I see.
His posters around, yes.
So why are you throwing your weight behind? Who should the delegates go for?
That's the matter for the delegates to decide. That's the matter for the delegates to decide. I mean, I've taken a view that I'm not going to openly support any candidate in my party in any election.
Okay.
That's the position I've taken. So,
but this is politics.
I'm not,
you must be willing to pay the price. No. When you support your candidate wins.
It's a personal decision. Are you going to begrudge me for that? I've taken a personal decision that I'm not going to openly endorse or support any candidate in an internal election.
Not even the presidential race?
I said, it's an internal election.
Right, it is.
Yes. So that's a decision I've taken. And I think I have my peace of mind taking that decision.
You have your peace of mind?
Yes.
So no matter the crop of leadership you get, you work with them?
Whoever the party elects, we all work for the person to break the 8.
Is the breaking of the 8 possible?
It's very possible.
Very possible?
Very possible.
Ghanaians are accusing Akufo-Addo of mismanagement.
Well, it's just that the cacophony of noise engulfing our party is very unfortunate.
See.
Because President Akufo-Addo has done a lot. And I told you at the very beginning that we have no track record. We cannot go and use Buzia's record or J. Kufuor's record.
You're riding on the shoulders of Akufo-Addo.
It's Akufo-Addo's record. Parliament first served 1 full term, second term, God willing, next year will be my second year. I've served as a deputy minister and President Akufo-Addo. So which position in this party can I contest for? Contest for any position. Any position.
Honorable.
The choice is then will be left up to the delegates
to make the decision.
To make the decision.
Right.
Do you think everybody contesting will win?
Obviously, in every competition, you get somebody to win,
yes.
Some to lose. So that I agree. Eugene Bachirji is the MP for Subin constituency. As we are, I mean, of course, the festive season is just around the corner. I'll give you a few opportunity to just wish your constituents.
First of all, let me wish
Christmas.
the President of the Republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, and the first family a happy Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year. Wish the entire MPP fraternity to same, and the entire Ghanaian society also same. That we're going to enter a new year. The ravages of the pandemic are there for all of us to see. We pray that the president and the executive will do their utmost to get out of this quagmire, and hopefully 2022 will bring us some decent results in all sectors of our economy to improve the daily conditions and lives of all citizens of all Ghanaians. And on this note, all I can say is that we leave everything in the hands of God. All of us should have a happy Christmas and New Year. And we see each other in 2022.
Yamyadema 2022. It's here to all the Subin.
Paka to change his intervening ways.
Now he's accusing me. Right, so you will be official part. Of course, I am Chrissy Parker Wilson, and this is Joy News.